All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's Cryptic Crossword for Wednesday, June 5th, set today by Picaroon. I saw that, was curious, looked up what the word means. It's a long-handled tool used for handling logs. It has a sharp pointed end on one end. All right, let's see what Picaroon has. Dope, in mess, to an extent. Well, sounds like wordplay at the start. Some synonym for dope, which of course could be an idiot, or could be drugs. Inside a word for mess, and then it means to an extent. I would think it's going to be an adverb, might end in ly, but what mess word ends in ly? Can't think of one. Let's try the downs. Underworld boss, pleased a henchman, keeps up. I'm thinking the keeps up might be a reversal indicator. So a henchman, I don't know what that would be. Of course, underworld boss, you immediately think of mafia, Don, maybe. But I'm thinking it might be the underworld, so devil. That's lived backwards, but no, or demon, nomad. Nope. Second, criminal is late to leave dock. Oh, I think it might be to leave dock, like set sail. Indeed, it is. So, yeah, a lot of these clues, the trick is to spot where to break it. And here I think it's a little helpful that the line breaks after late. And so to leave dock is right there. And an obvious 3-4 would be set sail. So second is S, and then criminal we do see frequently as an anagram indicator. An anagram of is late becomes set sail. All right, holy man in area with border of 0.1 centimeters. Ooh, that's... Well, of course, a tenth of a centimeter is a millimeter, so I think we're going to put something inside mm because it's going to have a border. What's a m something something m? Well, there is imam, and so I can see an area that has a border of millimeter would be mam. I'm wondering if in, I'm not sure about I think it's being used as 1 millimeter. Yes, now that makes sense. So 1 millimeter, you put A for area inside it. All right. Eagles hit. Oh, again, being alert to how you might break the clue. And I just saw Eagles hit, and I thought, oh, a song by the Eagles. A lithe falcon, R cuckoo, circling island. Well, I think cuckoo here is going to be an anagram of a lithe falcon, R, and then we're missing either an I or something. Anyway, I think it's going to be Hotel California. Yeah, I think it must just simply be I for island. I'm not going to take the time to work out the anagram other than a lithe falcon is 12, 13, 14. Yeah, we're just missing one letter. All right, now let's go back to our, to an extent, I think now is going to be an ish word. I can definitely see a mess word ending in sh. mash or yeah, maybe mash and dope. What would the dope be? Yeah, the I then would be part of the dope, which not likely. So maybe it is a mish. I know you can have a mishmash. Could that be a mess? To an extent, what would that be? No, not thinking of it. All right, let's go back, or let's carry on. One running after calories consumed in fat camp. Well, I'm thinking one running maybe, or one running after maybe. Calories, can that be abbreviated to just C, or does it have to be CAL? Consumed in fat camp. No. Person knocking frame of durable vehicle. Um, person knocking. I wonder if it could be somebody like a, excuse me, a person knocking like a um, well, I don't know, like going rat-a-tat-tat. I don't know if ratter or a patter or something like that. And that's going to be a frame or go around durable. And the whole thing will give us a vehicle. But I'm not seeing it. How Toccata starts with a lot of piano playing. It's easy to score. Okay, I'm thinking it is going to be a score or a game like um, not 2-all, but I think Toccata starts with a T, and then I think we need 4 more letters, so I think it's going to be PIAN, playing or anagrammed. Yeah. It is a football reference, and when a goal is easy to score, it's a tap in. There we go. All right, this one we have to see 24. Jazz band leader's skill that is followed by playwright. Well, I wonder if it could be a jazz band leader. And we're going to have a word for skill followed by a playwright. Well, Shaw was a playwright. Oh, and there is Artie Shaw. That is IE. Oh, this is very clever. So, oops, no, I was in the wrong one. How did I get there? Let's start here. Artie Shaw, there we go. I have my father's record collection to thank for that one. It's risky to open these tuck boxes left by Mogul. Oh my goodness, I haven't thought of tuck boxes for a long time. I would always read about them in English children's books. It's risky. I think that might be the definition. To open these, I don't know, maybe it's a word for risky, opens or goes inside these tuck boxes. I am wondering if this might be a bit of an and lit where the definition and the wordplay overlap, but nothing is coming to me. Russian who worked in bars, walking unsteadily, putting away whiskey. I think it's, oh, a Russian who worked in bars. Yeah, so that's a cryptic or punning way of saying a Russian composer. Walking unsteadily. I was thinking of Glinka, but putting away whiskey sounds like we have to put a W inside for walking unsteadily. What other Russian composers? Glier, I think, was Russian, despite the name sounding very French. Yeah, I'd like it to be Glinka. Maybe I'm completely misremembering, but I do see, yeah, so it's not putting a W inside the word. It's an anagram of walking, but you have to put away or remove the W, and then it is an anagram. All right. Okay, person scoffing. Articles in Gasthof around 1. Okay, I think it's going to be a person scoffing, which would be somebody eating, maybe eating a lot. In Gasthof now, which is it? Oh, I don't think it's going to be a reference to 1 across or 1 down. I think it's going to be an I, perhaps. Now, where is Gasthof? I think we need the language that is spoken in Gasthof. I presume it's in Germany, but let me pause and check that. Well, there is Gasthof, but I think without the capital G is the German for a guest house. But I did see a place in Switzerland, which isn't very helpful because there are so many. Oh, but maybe that is the trick, that we're going to do a German article and a French or Italian article as well. Person. Oh yeah, so I'm thinking the DER from German would be a good ending. And I think there's going to be an I in there. Oh, actually, it's not a person eating. It's somebody scoffing and making fun of you. And they would be, I don't know, derider. I'm sure it's a legitimate word, but have you ever seen that in print? Somebody being called a derider? But I think it's 2 ders with a 1 in the middle, or an I. All right. Oh, here we go. One that goes all the way to the bottom, like Hotel California. Nursing head. Why I visited Tip Top Japanese bar. That's exasperating. I'm thinking it's going to mean an expression that's exasperating. Nursing head could simply be the first letter of nursing, an N. Why I visited. That's confused. I mean, that must be wordplay, but yeah, I'm not seeing it. Now, tip top could be A1 or AI. A Japanese bar, do I need to know what a name of a Japanese bar would be? Yeah, I'm going to need some more letters for that. Classes about, say, boring politicians. I presume it's going to be politicians. And we're going to have classes. And then either the word goes around the other, goes about it, or about can be re or on, even of, I think. But then say, boring. Not getting it. Assigned current express journalist. to take minutes. I think it might be assigned. I think, is there a word, deputed? I know there's deputied, but I think if you make someone a deputy, you depute them. But yeah, I'm not sure how the wordplay would work. Oh, no, I think it's actually imputed. So we'll leave it for another day to find out if deputed is a word or I made that up. So I think if you assign motives to somebody, you imputed them. Current, we often see is abbreviate. I think I is in electrical engineering the letter used to indicate current. To express something, I think, is simply to put it. And journalist we often see as an editor, and that takes M for minutes. All right. Here's a word I'm not sure how to pronounce, but assure of responsibility, jailed by loveless tyrant. Okay, I'm thinking loveless tyrant is either a word for a dictator or the name of a specific one, and we remove an O, so it's loveless. Despot comes to mind. We've had that recently, but is it going to be an assure of responsibility? But jailed by. Maybe just an assure, and responsibility is going to go inside the loveless tyrant. Oh, I'm wondering if the tyrant could be Nero, and we drop the O, and so it just becomes N-E-R. But funny, we have an N in the third location. Now I'm not getting that. All right, how about wanting top, perhaps Indian setter, used for building motivation. I wanted it to be incentives, but that doesn't fit. Used for building motivation. No, maybe it means want. I'm thinking perhaps Indian. Oh, it might be Asian. A setter might be me or I. Used for building. Oh, so yeah, so I think maybe this is from the first part we have to gather the fodder for an anagram and build it into some word for motivation. No, not seeing it. All right. Ooh, they get reactions from version of litmus paper. So version of litmus says to anagram litmus, STIMUL, and then there is a newspaper in Britain, The Eye, I think you say, or do you just call it I? I think it's The Eye, the Independent, I think, as was. And so they do get stimuli, do get reactions. All right. Is it a page from an ebook? Really? Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm not seeing what that could be. If all else fails, ambassador cuts a dry sausage, as some say. Interesting. It's also interesting that one ends in a comma. Now, all the others don't end in any punctuation unless it's a question mark or an exclamation, but Is that comma important, or is that just the Growniad being the Growniad? Um, ambassador cuts a now. An ambassador can be HE. I've learned from watching Cracking the Cryptic, His Excellency or Her Excellency, and that may go inside a dry sausage, as some say. No, but I think the definition is if all else fails. So something like a last resort, or no, not seeing it. Do butterflies' wings in shadow start to interest Mike? Wow. So I'm thinking the start is telling us to take the starting letter of something. And maybe the definition is something that butterflies' wings might do, like flap, um, flutter, or could it be a mic as in a microphone? No. How about ultimately stubborn, which I think might be that N we see there, the last letter of stubborn. Sod, which could be, I immediately thought of the earth, and since this is a 4-letter word followed by a 5, I'm thinking EAR, near, and I see at the end we have the word almost. So ruler loses face in, the definition is a tragedy almost. You often say after you avoid an accident, that was a near thing. So I think the ruler is a king, and the word loses its first letter. All right. Incredibly animated lady had meal during jamboree. I'm wondering if it might be an animated heroine, and the adjective incredibly, well, I suppose it's an adverb, but could it be from the Incredibles? Now, what were the name of the family? Oh, I cannot think of them. Yeah, because just during jamboree tells me the definition is not jamboree. I don't think so. And meal during jamboree doesn't make sense either, I think. All right, let's do one more. The final across. Perhaps made pants, well worn by old daughter. Again, if I see worn or something wearing something else, I think of wordplay that we might put O for old and D for daughter around something. So I think it might be a well that is worn by old and daughter. Old O can also be X. And I'm wondering if perhaps made pants is, well, they want us to think of a tailor. I think it's somebody who panted, and I'm thinking, because of thinking of X for old, if you're well, you are hale and hearty, and there's our D for daughter, you exhaled. All right, let's go back to the Downs. We left off here. Primate is upset by E.G. Bishop wearing silver. I think it might be a primate, some member of the primate family beginning with an S is upset. Oh, that might start with SI, and then E.G. Bishop wearing silver. Well, silver is AG, right? E.g. bishop is maybe just saying some man of the cloth, but I should be able to think of a primate. Oh, well, there's Simeon, but is there some other? I'm not seeing it. I'm going to come back to that one, but I think I'm close. All told, Greek character pens books online. All right, so it seems to me like the definition will be all told. So something like in conclusion or in something. A Greek character is probably going to be a Greek letter. Iota, what else begins with an I? And that's going to pen or go around. Books, which could be the New Testament. Ah, yes. And then if we go back to doing iota, and then all of that goes on an L for line, and we get in total. Understood philosophers' works. Ooh. What could that be? I think it's going to be well, no, but the ending is unusual. I think it's going to be IAL. And could that be understood? Or could it be works? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Crikey, covers of Marley track turned up. I think it's going to be an expression like crikey. The covers of Marley are the outside letters of Marley, M-Y. And if you track somebody, you dog them. And backwards, that becomes my God. All right. You picked up capsized boater, possibly in a state. Well, I think just because of the letters we have, this must be Utah. And so you picked up is a homophone indicator that you picked up or heard someone say you, but it could be the letter U. And a capsized, yes, a boater is not in this case somebody in a boat, but a hat. All right. Oh, here we go. Do butterflies' wings in shadow? Could it end in IM? The start to interest. Oh, yeah, and I think Mike in the phonetic alphabet is M. So do butterflies, so is it skim, whim? Yeah, I'm not sure. What's the shadow then? Oh, the shadow, I suppose, could be to follow someone. But I don't get the do butterflies' wings part. Oh dear. I may run into some problems there. Let's try our incredibly animated lady had meal. All right, if it is wordplay, where we're going to have a meal during a jamboree. Now, what's I just remember the Cub Scouts had a jamboree every year. I think it's any sort of big, large gathering, right? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Incredibly animated lady. Nope, I'm not seeing it. All right, I think I'm going to pause, sip my coffee, and see what we have here. I was thinking again about this one, and I realized that I think I was actually thinking of water wings for some reason and swimming, but the wings in shadow are the outer letters of shadow, S and W, and so it's do the butterfly question mark. So that would be an example of a swimming stroke. All right, so now that W should be helpful. Understood. I cannot say philosophers today. Works. What is that? Even is there a name of a philosopher hidden in there? Oh my goodness, let me pause and think about that. All right, I ran through the alphabet trying to think what the starting letter would be. And when I got to S, I thought of, oh, a sawmill is a type of works, as in a factory or a place where things are made or treated somehow. And if you understood, just like I finally saw what the answer was, and Mill is the philosopher John Stuart Mill, I want to say, but I may be wrong. All right. Ooh, so is it a page from an ebook, really? I think that must be SO. Just so? Is it a page from an ebook? Really? Yeah, just so is sort of like really, but I'm not happy with it, and I think a J is very unlikely in that location of the downward. All right, how about this? It's risky to open these tuck boxes left by Mogul. Well, Mogul, apart from being a business person, can also be a little mound. And certainly when you're skiing, you have to get around the moguls, or some people go over them. It's risky. No, not seeing it. Here's my primate. I feel sure I'm missing some obvious monkey. Primate is upset by E.G. Bishop. I don't think it. Yeah, I think Bishop wearing silver has to be wordplay. Maybe it's EGB upset and it wears the bishop wearing silver. I don't think it's going to be ABG at the end. That doesn't seem likely. Oh, let me pause again. All right, well, I did resort to wordplays.com for this letter pattern, and I found there is a black gibbon called a siamang. That's a new one to me. So I think is upset as the SI. EG Bishop. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. We are past the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to check this. It is correct. I don't know, maybe the letter N after somebody's name might indicate that they're a bishop or some other member of the church hierarchy. But then how does AM by EG, bishop wearing silver? Oh, no, it's this other A goes with the G, so that's the silver. And a man in chess, you might talk about the piece or man, and a bishop is one of those. I've seen that before. I don't like it. I don't know if anyone talks about chessmen these days, but anyway, I think that must be what it is. Ooh, so now we're the jamboree must be a gala. So it is this L and then the A, and then we have a meal and an incredibly animated lady. Now I'm gonna pause and look up The Incredibles just to see if that's it. Well, it's not The Incredibles. The wife is Helen, also known as Elastigirl, and their daughter is Violet. Um, yeah, so I'm not sure. Gal, incredibly animated lady had meal. So what's a three-letter meal that we could have? Well, meal doesn't necessarily have to be a dinner, lunch, brunch, breakfast meal. Couldn't it be some kind of, I don't know, cereal crop or something? Or I don't know exactly what the definition of meal is, but yeah, I'm wondering if it could be something like that. All right, motivation. Wanting top, perhaps Indian. Center used. Yeah, not. I think that's going to be a tricky one if it is what I think it is, with gathering the right letters and then anagramming them. All right, this one should be if all else fails. Okay, I think the ambassador, if it's HE, might come in here, so it's as the something at the a dry sausage, as some say. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, I think we have A is going to be A, and then word for dry, and then a little word for sausage. Oh my goodness. If all else fails, as the last resort, as the. No, I'm not getting it at all. Oh, I feel like I'm very close. Um, yeah, I think I'm going to have to use word plays and see if they can come up with a phrase that fits here. It's an expression I don't think I ever use, but I've certainly heard it, at the worst. And of course, worst sounds like WURST. Um, Now, is that a dry sausage? I don't know about that. And I'm not sure where this T is coming from. We have ambassador, which is HE, cuts a dry. Oh, I need to actually, yes, I forgot I need to account for the other T. So dry is teetotal. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I missed that. All right, man, this is a tough one today. Let's try this nursing head. That's exasperating. Oh, who is a nurse? Well, nursing head could be the N, but I'm also wondering if it could be the not the mother superior, but the head sister, the matron maybe. Why I visited. Tip top. Japanese bar. Is it something about sake or? Yeah, let me. Maybe I'll start by looking up words for a Japanese bar. All right, well, I'm surprised wordplays.com did come through and found actually a few 15-letter phrases, but the very first one was for goodness sake. which I think is something you would say if something was exasperating you. And sure enough, sake does come into it. So I think why I visited Tip Top Japanese Bar is for good sake, and that is nursing a Ness, which is a geographical headland. Oh my goodness, that is very, very tricky. I'm now wondering if 80 could be even so. Oh, no, it's ever so. So if something is really good, it's ever so good in a very English way of saying it. And e-book, well, we know from previous crosswords there's the word that printers use for the left-hand side of a page and the right-hand side, and one of them is verso, so an e-verso in an e-book. That is clever. I do like that. All right, classes. About, say, boring politicians. And now I'm wondering if it could be an IES ending. Seems likely. Whether the definition is classes are politicians. Yeah. Ooh, let's try this is good. One running after calories consumed in fat. Oh, maybe the definition is camp, which could be a noun, a place where you camp, or of course could be an adjective. Camp. One running after calories consumed. Yeah, I'm wondering if we do put C for calories inside fat. Yeah, but if that I is the one running. Oh, running, of course. Yes, can be on. Is your clock running? Is it on? And it is FAT with a C in the middle, and a faction is a camp. So it's a more metaphorical meaning of the word camp. All right, now, is there a word for politicians? Classes might be in a generic sense, and not university or school classes, but categories. Oh, yes. And I see we have Tories in there, maybe. So about is circa, and then we have Tories, but e.g. or say, example, is boring it. There we go. Now we do have two ends, so Nero might be coming into it, but I'm not sure where. Sure. Responsibility jailed by loveless tyrant. Could there be three ends? It seems unlikely. All right, I'm going to have to use word plays for this. Well, there are only a few words that fit, and the most likely is a non-user, so assure. The responsibility is the onus, which is jailed or surrounded by NER without love. All right. Ooh, so 12 now looks very gettable. It's risky. Oh, it's risky to open these. Yet again, we should break it where the line breaks. So you shouldn't open the floodgates. So now our tuck boxes left by mogul. Oh, Bill Gates is the mogul. Oh, and this is very clever. Tuck means food, and so food boxes are surrounds L for left. Wowie. All right. Let's try and get one across. Dope in mess to an extent. No, I'm going to have to use word plays, I'm afraid. Oh, of course, it's dope is hashish. In mess to an extent. Oh, I'm not getting the wordplay. In mess. Oh, I think it's just like you would put the ish suffix on something to say it's is it good? Well, it's good-ish. Is it a hash? Is it a mess? Well, it's hash-ish. That's I think that could have done with a question mark to show it was really just a newly coined word to get the second part of it. All right, now our underworld maybe is the definition. And then boss pleased a henchman keeps up. How would that be? HADES. Not sure about this one. Let's check it. It is correct. Oh, it is a hidden clue and it's backwards. So starting with the H in henchman and working backwards, there's Hades. No, what's the word boss doing there? Keeps up tells us it's a hidden clue in pleased a henchman. I mean, I always thought Hades was the underworld. Is it the name of the boss? Well, we'll see what 15 squared has to say. So here I'm saying person knocking. Oh, and of course, I should have realized frame of durable are the outer letters of durable, DE. And a vehicle, which happens to be a durable vehicle, is a tractor. And so you get detractor. All right, I think I'm going to use word plays for these last two as well. It's like an incentive, an inducement. How does the word play work? Yeah, I'm thinking it might be an anagram of, well, I see me in there. Indian might simply be I. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to rely on 15 squared. Galatia, is she a figure from mythology? Let me check it. Oh no, well, I'm going to go ahead and reveal it. So spelled EA. Name is vaguely familiar. Let me look her up. She was, let's see. In Greek mythology, it's the statue carved by Pygmalion that came to life, thus incredibly animated. And she was also a sea nymph. So that's that's a little too highbrow for me. Incredibly animated lady. Oh, and had meal is simply 8. Oh, I never thought of that. All right, let's check all. Everything else still seems to be there. Let's head on over to 15 squared. All right, today's blog is by Peter O. Says Picaroon is in top form, but when is he not? I think I understood all of the acrosses, but yeah, so using the suffix ish to connote to an extent applied to hash or mess. Yeah, I'm not happy about that one, but what can you do? Yeah, there's Glinka, Dur. All right, in the Downs, a hidden. So it must be Underworld boss is Hades. All right, and then non-user. Oh yeah, I did get that. The onus eventually. The penny dropped. Perhaps an Indian is Hindu, but it's wanting its top, and so it becomes just INDU. Plus cement. Oh, a setter used for building. Wow. I think we're so trained to see any reference to the setter being I or me, that just went right past me. There is Siamang. All right. Let's see if anyone is complaining. Oh, Jeff from Australia likes picaroon. Yeah, so KVA, who's one of the most dependable commenters, he or she knows their stuff. They liked hashish, okay, the whimsy of it, I suppose. All right, well, different tastes, and I'm sure they're all much more experienced than I am. All right, well, thanks as always for watching, and have a wonderful day.